relaxing. Montreal in the summer, nothing better in the world. Been walking around the streets today, doing a little people watching. That's what we call it, people watching. It's not what we're doing. We're sat there drinking coffee outside, hoping we see a couple argue in public. But don't full voice argue with your girlfriends, gentlemen. You look ridiculous. I saw it today. I was walking down the street, there's this giant, hulking, ridiculous man. If it's true you are what you eat, well, then this man had recently eaten 3 muscular men. And I could see she was just, she leaned in and just said something to him. And he just leaned back and he just went, "Whoa, listen, Becky, I don't want to hear about your periods anymore. They're disgusting." And I thought, what a ridiculous thing to say. Because a woman's menstrual cycle is not disgusting. It is a beautiful celebration of the fact you are not a father for another 30 days. Thank you for applauding. I am very good. Now, I am single. I'm in my 30s. So it's not the fun single of like, blowjobs, what are you doing? Finger blasting. Like, it just basically means late at night, I'm somewhere surrounded by strangers. And the strangers never have candy, even though when I was a kid, I was told strangers have candy. About 6 months ago, I was in a bar, I was talking to this girl. This girl said, "Hey, I'm going to this party." I thought, I like parties. We walk into this party. It was a hipster party, so I felt very much at home. I don't know if you could tell. I like to send back coffee, if you know what I'm saying. Now, I walk in and I'm approached by this guy, and he was like a hip star. Like, it looked like he blow-dried his hair with a bazooka. He was wearing a Matador jacket, no shirt underneath, and jeans so tight I could see his asshole from the front. And he just comes up to me and he goes, "Hey man, you want some tea?" And I thought, well, that's not candy, but it's a start. So I'm having tea, he's having tea, I finish my tea, he finishes his tea, I go to walk away, he grabs me by the arm and he says, "Hey man, just to let you know, there's a lot of mushrooms in that tea." Now, I wasn't sure if this was a new slang for 2 tea bags or something. So I decided to clarify by asking, "What do you mean by that, new friend?" And then he said, "We've just done a bunch of magic mushrooms. We are both on magic mushrooms." Now, I don't know if you guys have done magic mushrooms. That guy definitely has. I did them 4 weeks ago, and now I'm here. But it's not a surprise you kind of drug. You need to be prepared. You need to get to the forest. You need to write on your hand, "I am on mushrooms." So that later, when you're walking around thinking, "Why is the moon judging my shirt?" you can look at your hand and go, "I'm on mushrooms. That's why." So now I'm panicked, scared, unsure what to do, because I've gone from a guy who may or may not make out with a pretty lady to a man absolutely convinced there's a helicopter trying to land on my head. So I did what any one of you would have done in this situation. I went into the kitchen to fill a sink full of water. That way, if the helicopter gets too close, I'll put my head in that water. Helicopters can't land in water. That's science. As I'm about to turn on the taps, I feel a tap on my shoulder. I turn around, and there's the woman who invited me to the party, and she was drunk, and I could tell because she was holding her shoes in her hands. That's a level of inebriation only ladies reach. You drink so much white wine, you suddenly think, I'm not at a party anymore. I'm in line for a bouncy castle. She just looked at me all drunk, one eye just, "Hey, fella, we should kiss." And then I said, "That's a very good idea. That way the helicopter will not know which head to land on. We will be safe." And to show you how drunk she was, that statement did not faze her at all. She jumped on me, we began to kiss. Kissing led to the removal of clothing. Removal of clothing led to 10 minutes of what no one would call sex. Because we can all have sex when both people are drunk. That's the classic game of like, I sweat on you, you sweat on me. This doesn't work, that doesn't work. Breakfast. But when one person is drunk and the other person is high on mushrooms for only the second time in his young life, one person wants to throw up and the other person knows there's a tiger. So after just 10 minutes of a rhythmic banging away, she just stopped me and she leaned in and she whispered in that sexy way women whisper, "Hey, I don't know how to say this, so I'm just gonna say it. I'm married and my husband just walked in." Now what I should have said, ladies and gentlemen, was, "How dare you, madam, not inform me of your marital status before we began?" What I did say was, "Oh, good, you can see him too." I think what I'm trying to say is live every day like it's your last day on earth.